Welcome to the Kenyan Daily Report. Yesterday morning, Kenyans woke up to good news of the release of the young men who had been abducted about 2 weeks ago. Most of them resurfaced from different parts of the country. Among the four young men that were released yesterday included the brother to one famous blogger and cartoonist, Kibet Bull. His brother's name is Ronnie Kiplagat. Kibet, popularly known for the creation of Kasongo Yeye cartoons, his brother Ronnie Kiplagat was dumped in Machakos County, and minutes after he was released, he made contact with his family the moment he realized that he was safe. But the question Kenyans were left to ask yesterday morning is, where is his brother cartoonist Kibet Bull, who had also disappeared 2 days later after his brother's abduction while he came to look for his brother in Nairobi. By 3 p.m. yesterday, Kibet also resurfaced on his X account with a very questionable narrative of his whereabouts, with a very questionable story of how he was released by his abductors in Vihiga County the previous night. His claims were supported by Okia, Umtata's communication director, Nifa, who claimed that she had spoken to Kibeti's sister, who had told her that Kibet was safe, and he had also contacted the family after his release. But that is not all. Something else that Kibet said on his X account is what caught the attention of the whole country at large. And I want to read his message minutes after what he tweeted hours after his release. And this is what brings up the bigger question. Was Kibet Bull really abducted? Or did he fake his abduction? And if he did so, who supported or who gave him the idea that if he disappears, then his brother will be released? Because Kenyans, knowing of how Kibet Bull has contributed to questioning the government with these silhouettes, will rally behind him and request the release of all the abducted young men and women who had been abducted for questioning the government of President William Ruto. I want to go to the tweet that Kibet made on his X account hours after his release and what Okia Umtata also said. Okia said, first I will start with what Okia said. Okia said, I had the joyful honor of speaking with Kibet Bull on phone this evening. He sounded like a soldier triumphantly coming back from the front line and not a subdued or disheartened individual. He briefly narrated to me how he was abducted. After he left my office, my driver dropped him safely at the archives in the CBD. He boarded a super metro bus and traveled to Kikuyu. It was at Kikuyu that he was kidnapped. The kidnappers blindfolded him and burrowed him into a vehicle. They drove for a long distance and then took him to a small room where they locked him up. He also mentioned that the abductors denied him food. The resolve in his voice is an encouragement to me and to all progressive Kenyans to continue fighting the many injustices that this regime is meting on innocent patriotic Kenyans. The fight against abductions has to continue until all the abductees are released and justice is served. That is what Okia Umtata said in regards to the release of one Kibet Bull after he was released by his abductors yesterday. Apart from that, I want to read this message. It's a message of Kibet Bull assuring the people of Kenya that, you know what, thank you for everything that you have done for fighting for my release, and now I have been released from the custody of my abductors. And this is what he had to say. About 17 to 18 hours ago through his social media pages that is mostly on his X account. That is where he made the revelation that, you know what, I have been released. 18 hours ago he said this. They dropped me in Luanda Vihiga at 3 to 4 a.m. leo. Sikuwa najua where to enter or book a room. Kidogo from your disco matanga came in, danced mpaka 6 a.m. when I went to book a ticket. Now the question is, you have been abducted and you are released in the morning. That is saa 10 ama saa 9 usiku. That is the question that a lot of Kenyans are asking. Alafu, after being released in a county that you know nothing about, in a place that you're not familiar with, you wander around looking for a place to sleep, to wait for the morning to come. After kuwekwa pale in the morning, after kutafuta, you find that kuna disco matanga mahali. The disco matanga is one of the cultures that the Luya people embrace so much. So after kupata disco matanga, imagine somebody that has been in custody for all 2 weeks under the said abductors, unapata nguvu ya kudance just an hour after being released, and then una dance mpaka asubuhi. The following morning unaamka una book ticket. Now the question is, how did these abductors leave you with the phone and money to make the money able for you to book a bus ticket? Ulitoa wapi pesa ya kubook a bus ticket? You haven't told us that these people left you the money to book a bus ticket. Now that is the tweet that really caught the attention of many Kenyans. And Kenyans, after seeing that tweet, a lot of them were in denial that this is Kibet bull. Wengi walisema huu si Kibet bull. These are DCI or the abductors are trying to play a card with us, telling us that he has been released. But atuamini, huu si Kibet bull. This is not Kibet speaking. But in the evening news, Kibet made a public appearance on an interview with NTV News while in Nakuru, speaking on his status from the abductors. Kibet said he was well and had not been tortured by his abductors, nor had he suffered any bodily harm, something that raised a lot of questions on whether the young man had really been abducted. Now tell me, Kibet was one of the most sought after people by the DCI and the National Intelligence Service. These people broke into somebody's home looking for Kibet bull. Walivunja mpaka mlango ya mtu in an estate pale. After finding it was not Kibet bull who was living there, wakaambia huyu mzee mwenye boma eti we were looking for a young man by the name of Kibet bull ambaye amekuwa akicreate cartoons za President William Ruto, and that man is wanted by us, dead or alive. So this begs the question, these people captured you, kept you in custody for 2 weeks. They never laid a finger on you. They never touched you. They never humiliated you in any way. According to Okia Omtata, the only torture that Kibet received ni ya kunyimwa chakula. And if looking at the young man yesterday akiongea pale NTV, you can tell the young man is healthy, amekuwa kikula fine, amekuwa kikafiti. So was he really abducted? Because when you look at the other abductees ambao walikuwa wamekamatwa, walikuwa wametekwa nyara from the one that started Billy Mwangi and Ronnie Kiplagat kutoka 21st of December. People like his brother Ronnie Kiplagat, the brother to Kibet bull, ukimwangalia you will see the status of the young man. Ni mtu ambaye amekapitia under the hands of the abductors. Hata his health has deteriorated. Same thing to Billy Mwangi. Billy Mwangi was released in Nyeri. He walked from Nyeri 60 kilometers to his mother's home in Embu County. Ukiangalia Billy, utaona ni mtu ambaye amekuwa anapitia mateso na dhulma kwa wale ambao walimteka nyara, kwa sababu afya yake imezorota na mambo mengi ambayo pia yeye alisema alikuwa kinyimwa chakula, alikuwa kipigwa, alikuwa kitishiwa and all that. How comes Kibet bull he did not undergo anything in the hands of these people? And not only that, tell me utaachiliwaje saa 9 ama saa 10 usiku and the time that you make contact with your family ni kitu saa 7 saa 8 mchana? That is when you make contact with your family. Yet umekuwa ukiona kwa news watu wakiuliza where is Kibet Bull, because according to him aliona that his brother had been released kupitia news ambazo zilikuwa zikisomwa kwa Citizen TV in one of the hotels ambaye alisimama kukunywa breakfast jana asubuhi. So Kenyans have a lot of questions, and according to one elder on X account, I want to read what he said and what Kenyans are also saying in regards to Kibet Bull's story, because the story is not adding up. Anaitwa TL Elder ama muite Mwambili Mwagondi, anasema Kibet Bull's release was a psyop to desensitize Kenyans from the abductions. I am very sure he was not released in Luanda Vihiga. I'm very sure that he was sending out those tweets. He was in the company of state operatives. Something is terribly wrong about his return. Yeah, huyu ni mtu ambaye anasema hivyo. Now, one future replied to this tweet and said they should tell us what happened. Who abducted them? Saizi ukiulizwa maswali wanakuita government blogger. Now, he also quoted a tweet by Kibet Bull which came in on 8th of October 2024. Kibet alisema hivi: Rule number 1, don't trust anyone who claimed he was abducted. Gabriel Ogunda later went to government. Kasmol Makore the same. Osama Otero after abduction hosted President William Ruto. Tunaelewana? Those are people questioning Kibet Bull's return. One Oginga says, was he really abducted? Another one says, nigga messed up. Makes you question his abduction. Human psychology for someone who has gone through such torture can't operate the way he did. I hope I'm wrong. Mwenda Kev anasema the truth is that he and his brother were abducted. The abductor, however, had a carrot and a stick. The brother was given the stick and Kibet the carrot. While his brother looks like he was taken through Slim Possible, Kibet not so much, of course for obvious reasons. Going forward, namwona Ephraim Mjomba akisema instincts don't lie. My instincts set in when the father of the abducted guy appeared on TV to express his love for the president while pleading for the release of his son. I drink but I know things. Christine Bosibori anasema hata kwa interview ya NTV Live he said he wasn't harmed. Very suspicious if you ask me. Portman anasema even the bro ni kama he was released kama ameenda kanisa. So I was like, si mtu huenda home kwanza, didn't turn up. Everton Blender says story ya Kibet isn't adding up. Something is missing. Spring KOT anasema honestly, we have to deplatform anyone who gets abducted and never said what went on. You know, when you look at Kibet's story in comparison to the story of the three Kitengelas, that is the Longton brothers and and Bob Jagi's story, those people were held in captivity for 4 weeks. That is 1 days. And when they were released, you could see it. You could see it in their eyes. You could hear it in their story. You could hear the pain in their tone when they spoke about what they went through under the hands of the abductors. You could hear it. But listen to Kibet's story when he was speaking to NTV and when he was speaking to the nation. Ukimsikiza vizuri, utasikia huyu ni mtu ambaye ni kama ametoka tu vacation. So the question comes in, did Kibet really fake his abduction story ndio brother yake aachiliwe? Did Okia Mtata give him the idea to disappear and to switch on his phones and disappear from the eyes of, from the face of the earth until his brother is released? And if not, if he was abducted, did the abductors change him? Is Kibet, because somebody asked me, the story of Kibet doesn't add up. Could Kibet now be an NIS agent that has been released and inserted to the public so that he can interfere with the revolution that Kenyans are so eagerly fighting for? These are the questions that Kibet Bull needs to sit down and answer to the people of the Republic of Kenya, because you can't tell us that mtu ambaye amekapitia chini ya mikono ya right now anaweza ongea jinsi ambavyo Kibet aliongea. Mark Kariuki anasema, in my opinion there is a script he has to follow. Those guys seem to have been coached for days on how they will behave once released. That's why a lot won't add up about them. Martin says, very like wame-spin narrative waka cause a lot of confusion because we all wondering how did he get out then goes to Disco Matanga first thing. Fomu ilijipa. Unaendaje Disco Matanga hata hujapigia familia? Hujaongea na watu waarifu ya kwamba, and the family has been so worried. The mother has been crying day in day out on social media and on different platforms trying to ask President William Ruto to let go of his son. Going forward, namwona Wicks akisema they just took over his account. Anything from that account is not him. No, it is him right now because he confirmed it yesterday while speaking to NTV. Sileo anasema you will never beat allegations za ujinga Mwabili. People protested and kept running hashtags for him to be released, and when he was is best when hata uelewi unaongea nini. Kiprotich anasema let's say the so called abduction is kind of a sacred initiation. By the way, angalia wale watu ambao walitekwa nyara. Once they come from abduction, either they in government or either they disappear. Chicksphere anasema this is how first wave of abductees looked like after being released. They looked disheveled. You can tell hawa walikapitia. Hawa wajuzi unaweza dhani walikuwa fattening camp bwana. People are all smiles and glowing. This guy went ahead to share a picture of Bob Jage, Jamie Longton and his brother Haslam Longton who were abducted in Kitengela. Wadau, maoni yako ni yapi? Nataka aswa kusikia, what do you think from this story? One homeboy anasema from the horse's mouth. Hapo unafinywa kwanza. Ukikubali kuwa government agent unapewa food accommodation until you are well. Alafu unaachiliwa kama agent. Mwingine Makao Elizabeth anasema kwani hizi Disco Matanga zinakuwa everywhere anytime. Yani once you're dropped, what is available is just a Disco Matanga. Another one is Stormy Weather anasema I am now starting to believe the theory that's going around that these guys have probably most likely been recruited by NIS. Sahi they are agents of the state. Probably labda hata walikuwa wanalala na kukula poa sana. The dentist of Meru anasema it's only fair to say that as a vocal person on reforms, once you go missing then come back, your relevance is no longer needed. We exclude and continue with the fight. Jamba anasema same here. I smell a skunk in the whole saga. There is definitely something that meets the eye. There is more than what meets the eye. We need an independent commission on inquiry to get to the bottom of this. There is a possibility we are being taken for a ride. Wadau, Wakenya wengi, and I mean a lot and a lot, thousands of Kenyans are questioning the story of Kibet Bull. Wewe, unaamini ya kwamba kijana aliachiliwa akaenda Disco Matanga? Ebu achia comment yako kwenye comment section. See you in our next video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the Kenyan Daily Report.